Sunnahfollowers, protectors of the Sunnah. In alhamdulillah, wa salat, wa salam Allah, wa rasulullah. Welcome to the first day of Ramadan. This is the first day of Ramadan for the year 2021, April 13th, 2021. It's the first day of fasting. And everyone should be fasting at this point. Again, for those of you who are exempt from fasting, one of the things that I want to emphasize is don't feel bad, because I have received about several emails today from people really concerned, feeling bad because they can't fast due to their sicknesses. I want you guys to understand, even though you are not going without eating and drinking, you're still getting the rewards of Ramadan. Ramadan is not just fasting. It's about sacrificing for the sake of Allah too. If you're spending your time still remembering Allah, doing good deeds, staying away from the haram things, you're getting the same reward as a fasting person. That ransom that you will have to pay for each day that you can't fast, or the fact that you have to make days up later. Okay, you're getting the reward of a regular faster. So that is Shaitan, your personal jinn. He wants to push you and make you think that you are less than someone else. He wants to make you think that you're just nothing and you're wasting your time, because he wants you to throw in the towel and not fast at all. Okay. So do not allow your personal jinn to take you there, because even though Shaitan is locked up in chains for this month, your personal jinn is not. And he's going to do everything in his power to get you to break your fast, to get you to not get the reward, which is total forgiveness of sins. So for those of you who cannot fast due to health reasons, or had to break your fast due to reasons, there's no reason for you to feel less than anyone else. You are still getting the rewards as long as you're spending the time doing the deeds that are pleasing to Allah. And with that said, what I want to do today is to once again lift you up, lift up your spirits, let you understand why is it that we really even go through this. A lot of people, the non-Muslims, in fact, I was at the grocery store yesterday, and a non-Muslim person came up to me and said, "You guys are beginning Ramadan." She said, why, do you guys put yourself through this? Well, again, Allah has imposed Ramadan upon us, not as a punishment, but as a means of us becoming closer to him, number one, and a means of us looking at ourselves to realize what our strengths are and what our weaknesses are, so we can change the condition of ourselves to one better. So this is the month of contemplation. This is the month of change. This is the month of improvement. So that's why this month is so sacred to us Muslims. And that's why we enter into it with such happiness, with such anticipation. And that's why we have to be on guard, again, to not allow the personal jinn to make you think that you are less than anything because for some reason or another, you have to break the fast or you can't fast. Just like myself. Right before I got to teach, what happened? I had a GERD attack. That's why the class is late. Now I done spent all day fasting, doing good. I'm keeping myself like, oh, mashallah, so far it's so good. Then right when I turned on my camera, whoop, there it is, GERD. And my granddaughter's with me. She said, oh God, here we go. You need to just pay the ransom and stop trying to do this all the time, because it's a scary thing. I'm on the floor like I'm having a heart attack. Get the Tums, get the water, get the stuff. Let's see what's happening. Keep the phone near, and finally we got it under control. And it makes me angry because I done spent half the day fasting. So my personal jinn wants me to get angry. My personal jinn wants me to think, oh, I got you. You done fasted all this time for nothing. No. I still get the reward. Even though I had to break my fast, no, Shaitan, you're not going to take me there. Allah knows that, this was beyond my control. I'm still going to get rewarded for doing this for Allah's sake. So again, it happens, guys. It happens. So if something happens and you end up having, to break the fast due to your illness or something, don't let that jinn take you there. Because I've been there, done that. He just tried to take me there 15 minutes ago. That's why the class is 15 minutes late. Okay, with that said, let's review why we put ourselves through this. Why we put ourselves through this. And what I'm going to do is speak about how we as Muslims, and by the way, my computer is really gone crazy. You can tell my GERD has come into, and I'm shaky and I'm nervous. The PowerPoint's just doing its thing on my screen. So give me a second, guys. GERD is a horrible disease. It really is. And it makes you think you're about to have a heart attack. It's a scary thing. I'm sorry. Okay. My screen, I had clicked the button. Okay. So give me a chance to set this up again for you guys. Okay. Okay. So here it is. Inshallah, you guys should be able to see my screen. And today what I want to speak about is I want to remind, wait a minute, let's hope it doesn't act up again, guys. Hold on. Let me see if I can get through this. Tell you, the first week is the worst week for me fasting. After the first week, my body will get used to not having that water. Okay, today we're going to speak about how to make the best or the most of this Ramadan. First of all, again, this is the month in which we renew our commitment to Allah, both outwardly and inwardly. And the way that we renew our commitment to Allah is by, praying more, even though we don't have to do the Sunnah prayers. This is a good time to do them for this month because it brings us closer to Allah. Also, even though we do not have to read the Quran, and I want to, excuse me, hold on, here it is again. Excuse me. I want to emphasize that a lot of Muslims believe that in order for your fast to be accepted by Allah, you have to read a certain amount of juice each day of the Quran. This is not correct. This is not correct. Your fast is not contingent on the Quran. You don't have to read the Quran at all, and your fast is accepted. But the reason why we read more Quran, and because we're not just reading it, we're pondering the meaning. Because again, by reading the Quran, pondering the meaning, applying it to ourselves, it renews our commitment to Allah and also ourselves. So that's why we read a lot of Quran during this month, not because if we don't, our fast is not accepted. No, we do it because, again, it's all about renewing our commitment to Allah. And also, this is the month to do away with bad deeds. I gave the example all week about smoking cigarettes. Smoking cigarettes is haram. This is the best time to kick it because you kick the habit because you got a reason to. You're doing it for the sake of Allah. Get those Nicoderm patches on and let's kick this habit. By the time Ramadan ends, you should be nicotine free. Okay, this is the month to do away with those bad sins. This is the month of change. This is the month of reflection. And this is the month to ponder the true meaning of what it means to believe in Allah, to believe in his prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So, that's why this month is so sacred to us. A non-believer wouldn't understand that, but we Muslims do. And even though Allah is forgiving, Allah forgives sins every day of the year. Ramadan is the best time to repent from your sins, because number one, whatever good deeds that we do this month, whatever good deeds we do is multiplied up to 700 times. And also the simple fact that we are fasting, that we're sacrificing of ourselves, Allah is more apt to accept your supplications. As the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us, the prayer of a fasting person is always accepted by Allah. So that's why this is the best time to repent. And also, even though Allah forgives every day of the year, Allah tells us that he forgives even more during the month of Ramadan. So Allah forgives and frees even more people from the hellfire every night during this month. So again, that's why we want to focus in on repenting. You want to spend your time this month reviewing yourself, finding out what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, and try to do away with those weaknesses that lead to sin. And again, we have to be careful. Your personal jinn is not locked up in chains. Your personal jinn is going to try to do everything in his power to get you to break your fast without a valid excuse. He's going to whisper to you and tell you that, oh, you can't do this. He's going to whisper to you and tell you, oh, no, this is ridiculous. So you have to beware of that. And remember, if you do break your fast without a valid excuse, this is a horrific sin. And also, on the other hand, for those Muslims out there who feel bad, like myself, I had to break my fast right before class because of my GERD attack. I don't feel bad about it. Okay, remember, Allah does not impose an obligation upon us as a punishment. As Allah tells us, he doesn't wish any hardship on us. He doesn't want you to put yourself through fasting at the expense of your life being in danger. I could have sat there and just rolled around on the floor like I was doing, not knowing if it was a GERD or a heart attack, not able to breathe, and just said, no, let me be, screaming and hollering, and made my granddaughter call 911 because I went through this before. They would have took me to the hospital, ran all these cardiological tests, then to just come up and hear me, make me belch, a big belch, and say it's GERD and put all this. No, Allah doesn't want us to go through all that. Why subject myself through that? I'm going to go ahead, break the fast, take my medicine that I got for that disease, and drink the water, suck a whole 3 bottles of water down my throat to wash it out of my intestines and go on. Allah doesn't want us to put ourselves through any unnecessary hardship. So like I was saying, if you are getting sick, you have a disease, a chronic illness. We talked about a chronic I'm not talking about a cold, a cough due to a cold. I'm talking about a chronic illness. If you have a chronic illness and you feel it coming on and you have to break that fast because of it, break it and don't feel bad. Okay? Because Allah, that is a valid excuse. And Allah doesn't want to subject you through any unnecessary hardship. Okay. And also something for the men of our nation. Something for the men of our nation. It is strongly recommended for you brothers to go to the mosque and pray the Taraweeh prayer every night so that Allah may forgive you of your past sins. Listen to what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. Hold on. He said, whoever prays the Taraweeh with the Imam until the Imam finishes the prayer, it will be written as if you spent the whole night in prayer. I had a brother here ask me, Sister Layla, I'm in a different part of the world. At the time of your classes, that's the time for the Taraweeh prayer. Can I just stay and listen to your class? No. In this case, no, you are a man. A man gets more blessings praying the Taraweeh behind the imam than even sitting here listening to me. But it's different for the women. The woman gets more blessings praying in her home. So you sisters get more blessings staying here on your Zoom, listening to me, learning from me, than going to a mosque to pray a Taraweeh. The mosque is really the place for men, not women. A woman's home is her palace. Okay, so for you brothers out there, you put your mask on and go to the masjid and perform the Taraweeh prayer every night. This is a good thing. In fact, tonight, for those of you in America, the brothers, you want to make sure you get to the masjid, excuse me, and pray your Taraweeh prayer with the imam. Don't sit here and say, I'm going to log in and listen to Layla Nashiba's hadith class. No, for you brothers, you go to the mosque and pray the Taraweeh. Okay? Also, you want to make sure that any income that you have this month comes from lawful sources. I want you guys to understand, Allah does not accept anything from bad sources. There are some people out there who sell drugs. I hate to say it, but there are some people who call themselves Muslims and they deal in drugs. Allah does not accept any good deeds if your income is from drugs or selling anything haram. You can fast until the end of time. You can pray until the end of time, and you can give millions and millions and millions of dollars in charity. And Allah will not accept any of it from you because your income came from unlawful sources. So I want you brothers and sisters to keep that in mind. If you want Allah to accept your good deeds during this month, you have to make sure that your income, your livelihood is from legal sources. If they are not from legal sources, if you a dope dealer or you a robber or stealer or anything like that, I'm sorry, you're wasting your time fasting or anything else. And again, for those brothers and sisters out there who are unable to fast due to a sickness, such as I have a lot of diabetic people here, like Sister Anissa. Sister Anissa is most likely not fasting because of her diabetes. We got Antar, as you can see, she's still in the hospital. She's unable to start the day off fasting, but she's still here with us, because of her diabetes. I got Sister Lucy, who's getting ready to go through chemotherapy. She's not able to fast either. And then I have myself. I just had to break my fast because of this crazy GERD. I want to give you something that you can think about for those who are unable to fast. A great thing that you can do is to feed a person who did fast. And not only are you getting rewarded for your intentions to fast, but also you're getting the reward of that person's fast. For example, Sister Anissa, she can call up Sister Bushra and say, hey, Bushra, I want to take you out to dinner tonight. Or she can say, hey, Bushra, I'm going to have DoorDash deliver a Red Lobster to you and your husband tonight. Don't worry about cooking. I'm going to have DoorDash drop off, some crab legs to you and your husband. Mashallah, not only is Allah rewarding Anissa for her intentions to fast too, but also, and plus she's paying the ransom. So the ransom is the reward, but also she's getting even another reward for feeding someone who did fast, giving them something to break their fast with. So this is something that people who are sick and unable to fast, understand that your ransom is your fast. But, if it makes you feel any better, pay for somebody else to break their fast, and you'll get that reward. Subhanallah, subhanallah, subhanallah. Also, since good deeds are multiplied this month, this is the best time to increase our charity. And for those of us who do have money, for those of us who Allah has blessed financially, that's why you will find a lot of people who are blessed financially being more charitable this month. In fact, excuse me, a lot of people will ask me, Sister Layla, do we have to pay our yearly zakat in the month of Ramadan? No. But the reason why a lot of people do pay their yearly zakat is because, again, any good deed that we do is multiplied up to 700 times. So that's why a lot of people choose to pay their yearly zakat during the month of Ramadan. That's also why you will find people who are well established being more charitable, donating money for iftar, donating food. A lot of doctors I know will pay, for the whole community to eat, to break iftar. A lot of restaurants are donating iftar and all that because, again, this is the best time, to increase our charity. And also giving to Islamic schools, giving to the masjid, or making donations to my website. This is the best time to make donations, to Islamic organizations, such as an Islamic school or my website. There's so many Muslims around the world benefiting from the knowledge here. And you're getting the reward of all those people who come here and benefit. Plus, you're getting my reward for teaching, and Sheikh Morsi's reward, and Dr. Jamali's reward. So again, this is the best time to be charitable for those who have money. So again, as we kick off Ramadan, as we kick off this month, I want you guys to understand, don't lose out on the rewards. Don't spend your fasting days sleeping. Don't spend your fasting time watching TV all day. Don't spend your fasting time playing Monopoly or cards, because remember, Allah is going to ask us how we spent our time. So you want to make the most of your time by doing as many good deeds as you can that will be in your favor. And again, I want to remind everybody, this is probably why my GERD acted up today too. Try to eat sahur. Try to eat sahur, because it will give you the strength to make it through the day. Allah tells us that there's a blessing in sahur. The blessing is He will cause that whatever you eat or drink to help you through the day. And I think this is how I messed up. I went to sleep and didn't wake up in time for sahur. I wasn't able to pump myself with water, because I have to drink about 3 bottles of water to keep that acid down in my stomach. And I didn't get to do it. So I thought I was going to make it through the day. I was so happy. I said, it's 6 o'clock. I ain't got but a couple hours. Inshallah. Thank you. And then here it broke. So again, guys, especially those people with GERD, people are sick like me. It's important to eat that sahur, because, that way you can suck in the water or whatever you need. And also those of you on medicine, I didn't even take my pills a day. That's another reason why the GERD kicked. I didn't have my GERD pill. For those of you on medication, take your medication in the morning and then take the other half of your medication in the evening when you break your fast. And that's how I blew it. By me not waking up, I didn't get to take any of my medication, including my GERD pill. I didn't get to drink any water to keep that acid at bay. And so I thought Allah was going to let me get through the day, but I guess He wanted me to learn a lesson, to not stay up late, to get myself in bed so I can wake up in time for sahur. So it's important, guys, to eat sahur and arrange your schedule. If you're on medication, take half your medication at sahur and the other half when it's time to break the fast. So that way you're still getting your vitamins, your medicines and all that in your system. And again, we have to be careful to not indulge in sins of the tongue. No cursing, no backbiting, no gossiping. Engaging in these type of actions will decrease your blessings. And also control the temper. Remember, your personal jinn is still with you, and he's going to do everything to try to push you to get angry and lash out with others and argue with others. Don't give him this power over you. Do not allow him to get the better of you. And finally, guys, as we spend the days fasting, we should spend the days supplicating, making dua for ourselves. But don't forget to make dua for others too. Remember, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever supplicates for the believers on earth, the angels will supplicate for you, and you will get a reward for every believer on earth. So whenever you make your personal supplications, when breaking the fast or whatever, or throughout the day, remember your other Muslim brothers and sisters in the world and ask Allah to make it easy for all the believers here on earth. And if you're making dua for people who have died, like when I make supplication, I'll ask Allah to forgive the sins and make the grave spacious of my stepfather and Sister Izdahar and Brother Bilal and Brother Melvin's mother. I then will say, and oh Allah, forgive the sins and make the grave spacious of every believer. Put every believer in those supplications too, so you can get a reward for that. And also your supplications accepted even more. So again, guys, these are just reminders that I want us to keep in mind as we start and kick this month off fasting. Every day, I'm going to take you through Ramadan. Today is a reminder of what to do. Tomorrow, we're going to speak about the virtues of fasting again. I'm going to remind you of the virtues of fasting and the benefits of fasting. We're going to speak about how Allah is more compassionate. We're going to speak about the things that break the fast, the things that don't break the fast. So again, stay tuned in to me and this website during this month, and inshallah, we will walk you through Ramadan. And again, for those who had to break their fast or who are not able to fast, don't let Shaitan take you down that dark road. Remember, the ransom that you pay is your fast. You're still getting the rewards of fasting, even though you're unable to. So don't let Shaitan take you to that dark place like my personal jinn was trying to take me to right before class. Okay, so we'll stop right here. If you guys have any questions or comments,